1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit.
Up.
Try that. Oh, there you go. You just weren't talking very loud.
Hello. Are you recording?
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Hola.
Hello. Welcome back. Episode 5, I believe.
5. It's hard to believe.
Into the Light with Ryan and Michelle.
It goes so fast. I have to tell you, it just goes so fast. Like
I know.
We missed the other day, and I hate not ending my week with you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah,
So,
me too.
you
It
know.
felt weird after.
Yeah, because it always
Doing it
like
consistently.
after a tough week, and then having the opportunity to sit in here and
Yeah, this
talk
started
about
on my
some-
birthday too. So
it did.
yeah, it kind of feels like this year started with this. So now we're on a pattern. We're on a roll, so to speak.
We are. Let's talk about birthdays really quick.
Okay. Let's shout out Conspiracy Coffee for the sponsorship. Delicious coffee and baked goods here in
We
Mansfield.
need to get his butt back in here.
He needs to
He's
get
got
me a
some
shirt.
stories.
He needs to give me a shirt I can wear.
He
and some
does.
coffee I can drink.
Yes, because you're naughty. You always have that naughty cup there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, if he was a smart man, he'd bring you in a cup.
That's
and
why I'm doing it. I'm actually trying to provoke him into giving me his coffee.
I'm going to tell him about
All right.
it. All right, so birthdays.
Yeah.
I got a big one coming.
I know. A milestone.
Big.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? A big one.
You know, I think I feel really good about my age. And I think that I don't look bad for my age.
Yeah.
I
think the older you get, the more accepting maybe you get. That's how I feel. Like
Yeah.
when you're younger, you're like, oh no, I'm going to turn 30 or whatever. And then you're like, I feel like the older I get, the more I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
kind of like, so the only thing that I have some regrets. Like I had legs from the ground all the way to my boobs when I was younger.
Whoa.
Like, I know, like, woo, they were like
Wow.
super long,
Yeah.
skinny leg. I'll show you pictures sometime. Super long, skinny legs.
Yeah.
And now, like, they shrunk and they got fatter and they got like cellulite in them. So I wish I would have like appreciated what I had back in
Do you
the
wish
day.
you would have sexied it up a little bit?
I wish I would at least appreciate it. Like, I never like appreciated that. Like, I just
Yeah.
took it for granted, I
Yeah.
guess.
I remember even as a guy, like I feel like there's more pressure on women for sure.
Yeah.
But even as a guy, I remember like being a teenager, washing the car and like
Yeah,
seeing my
all like, no,
reflection and I was all muscular and stuff.
muscular.
And now it's like, nah.
When you get older, like, your man boobs start to droop a little
Yeah,
bit. And
yeah.
our girl
Not quite
boobs
as tight.
definitely droop.
Yeah,
But
not quite as tight as it was.
I was picking on my husband the other night, and Steve's still, he's got a nice body on him.
Okay.
He's going on 60, but he's got the little pod belly thing,
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
boobies are a little bit droopier.
You're feeding
than
him well.
Yes, and I'm like, honey, I looked at him and I'm like, I pulled up his shirt and I'm like, give me the younger version. We do this on, so then he sucked it in and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, gosh.
I just
that's
rely
so-
on my kids because they still think I'm like huge. So like,
Yeah.
I was flexing for the kids the other night, boom, and they were like, "Whoa!" Which
Nice.
give yourself a little ego
Wait till
boost.
they get a little older and they'll be like,
You're
Dad,
you're so lame. Yeah,
Dad,
I
you
know,
need
I
to
know.
go to the gym, Dad. I got
I
that.
know.
I got that.
Did you
from
get
the,
it?
Well, from the teenager, she's like, Mom, you might want to go to the gym with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I want to, but I don't.
You don't have time for that.
I don't want to.
Yeah. Plus, it's expensive.
I hate exercising.
I hate exercising too. I need to have a reason to exercise. Like I used to do a lot of martial arts, and I haven't in a while. But like, it was at least a reason. Like I wasn't going just jogging. Like
Yeah.
you're like grappling or fighting with somebody, and it's like a reason to get exercise. I feel like for me personally, and then like if I just go to the gym, like I don't have motivation to just lift something or just run in place. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I need to join a.
God love those people
Volleyball
that, do that. Hey, I would play some volleyball again.
Yeah.
They have a adult volleyball
at the
teams
YMCA.
at the Y.
I saw that. Yeah.
We should get on it next
What
time.
if
Let's
we
start
had-
a team.
That's
Let's
what I was
start
gonna
a
say.
team.
You know what game I would love to play as an adult?
What?
Kickball. Like the kickball from elementary
You boys
school.
are jerks at kickball.
Oh.
I don't want to play kickball with you.
Adult kickball
But I'll
league?
take your butt
You'll-
in there and
you'll-
kick it all
we'll
over
do
the
volleyball?
place. Some volleyball.
Well, let's be on
Yeah.
the same team.
Okay.
We'll put it together a team.
Team.
You, me,
Haley.
Dave.
Haley's a heck of a volleyball player.
I can see that. Yeah.
So the only thing that I don't like about getting older is my time on this earth is coming slowly.
I block
to an
that
end.
out. I just block it out.
I get a visual every once in a while. Like I get a moment, you know, when you're like, oh, like it's the
10 minutes left. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
that
I know what you mean.
you
Yeah.
realize that the days could end. Not that they could end any quicker today than they did 20 years ago,
Yeah.
but in our mind, we're invincible and we live forever. Well, forever's coming.
It's funny that you bring that up because when I was younger, I don't, I'm not into celebrities like personally. I was like, whatever. But lately, when celebrities or someone people know of dies,
That
and
one
I'm
guy
like,
died today.
and I'm yeah, Luke Perry, rest in peace. My gosh,
52 years old.
that's what I mean. And I think of that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
he was not that much older than me.
No.
That's scary.
And see, I'm getting ready to turn 50.
Oh.
And there's people dying all around.
Makes-
Once you get into
yeah,
your 50s,
yeah.
my friends that have hit 50,
Ooh.
there's been, heart attacks and
This is an uplifting episode.
okay, let's talk about something good. Excuse me. So the good news is I'm closer to retirement than
That's
what I was.
true.
You know.
Yeah, that is true. And you know what else? You've got a new. Can we talk about the new new medication? Can we talk about that?
Sure.
You've discovered CBD.
CBD.
Let's talk about that. Tell me a little bit about. I mean, I know tell me how you got into it and tell me a little about CBD
Well,
for people who don't know.
There's a bunch of people in this building that obviously, so the big talk is medical marijuana,
Right.
CBD oil. So some states you can actually have marijuana with THC
Right.
and CBD. In our state, you cannot. You can only have CBD.
Which is like the medicinal aspects,
The
kind of.
healing,
the healing
parts of it comes mostly from the stem of the pot plant, the hemp plant,
Right.
cannabis, whatever.
Right. Not as much
6
from
million
like the
thousand-
THC comes from the buds, the flowers. This is more the stem, the leaves.
Yes.
It's one of the other natural compounds.
It's got the healing part. So without the high,
Right.
there's no high to it. It has the relaxation, helps people with anxiety,
Helps so many things. It's almost like a miracle cure. And when I first started hearing about it, like I'm all into people, whatever helps people, people who have cancer or people who whatever the problems are. But I didn't really understand what kind of a miracle cure CBD is until I started seeing people around me.
like
Like a certain, I won't even say his name, but he had blood pressure problems. His blood pressure was all over. He started
Pain.
vaping CBD.
Yes.
Pain too. Yeah. And it leveled his, I mean, you can see it on paper. Like he showed me from his doctor before and
Yes.
after. It goes from a roller coaster to just a straight line of,
yes.
it's crazy.
So I've been a naturalist for a very long time. I believe that there is a need for man-made medicines at certain points, but I also believe that we over-medicate ourselves in this world.
100%.
And obviously with the opioid addiction, I have issues with, like I tried taking Vicodin once for
Right.
a surgery that I had, and I projectile vomit from it. Like my body just goes, no way, baby. I can
Yeah.
never become a drug addicted anybody.
And a lot of the problem is, like you said, with the opioid epidemic, I've seen a lot of people who are, it's easy to just categorize people like, oh, they're a druggie, they're whatever. But like, I've seen so many just normal people who, from a friend's mom to like people I knew who they weren't into drugs. Maybe they hurt themselves or they had a
Right.
lot of pain and they started taking these man-made pharmaceuticals. And then you start to find out, hey, street drugs are cheaper and, my insurance doesn't cover it or whatever. It's a nightmare.
Well, so like oxycodone,
Right.
there's a lawsuit out right now because the makers of that drug knew how addictive it was when they created it,
Right.
and they plastered the street with it. They even paid off physicians
absolutely.
to give it, and they're multi-billionaires, in the top 20 richest people in the entire world. And now hundreds and thousands of people have died because of it, where people just thought they were taking it for pain or was prescribed by a doctor.
Right.
And then they became so addicted to
And they've
it.
done it so many times. They don't learn from it.
They don't care. They don't care.
Do you
They
know-
don't care.
Do you know the story behind heroin? That it was developed by Bayer aspirin. They developed it because they wanted a less addictive morphine, something a little better than morphine. Well, they developed heroin, and then I mean, look at the epidemic now. So like, you know, and that's why it's people don't realize like
they don't. And my big thing is, and I say this to people all the time, I find it crazy that people will walk into a doctor's office and go fill any script that is given to them without knowing anything about that drug.
right.
And they do it because they believe
It's from a healthcare professional. It's from a doctor.
that doctor cares about them.
Right. And you're right, doctors. There were many, many cases you can look online about doctors getting incentives from big pharma, the pharmaceutical industry.
We
like,
already know
push this drug. We'll
yep.
give you bonuses. We'll give you vacations. Whatever.
Even if it is a good doctor, they're overworked.
Sure.
They're just in this society wants a pill for everything
Right.
to fix whatever.
Right.
So they've been trained to just write a script. And the thing is where's the ingredients list?
You don't know what it is. We're not chemists.
We go to a grocery store, and ironically, okay, so it's really funny to me when I'm talking to people about CBD.
Yeah.
They want to see everything that's in it, this, and this. Okay, wait a minute. This is a weed.
Right.
It's a weed. Literally,
Grows
there
on
is
the
no
earth.
ingredient.
Yeah.
It's a weed. It's
Right.
been known, forever. Because I didn't go to college and get a degree, you want to see what's in it. Why aren't you questioning your physicians the same way?
Well, that's exactly why. Because
a
of what
degree
you said.
doesn't make you a good person. A
No.
degree doesn't mean that you're knowledgeable of every single thing that you're doing.
Right. And and that's always been my argument too, is that, 100 years ago, marijuana was demonized for all sorts of political reasons, racist
Absolutely.
reasons.
Let's talk.
Like in California, they wanted to get rid of this huge Mexican influx, and the only thing they said was like, "Oh, they're bringing all this marijuana," and so there's so many bad reasons why it was demonized, but for all human history, for thousands of years, here's this plant that grows in nature that helps people with different things. It helps people with
The first American flag was made out of hemp.
hemp. That is true. Yeah. George Washington grew hemp.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
the reason why I got into the company that I'm into, all the CBD oil pop-up stores are showing up around here.
Right.
And I treat it no differently than I do going to a doctor. People in here and my friends are going and buying CBD oil. You can buy it at the gas station down the road, right?
Right.
Okay, what's in it? How was it produced?
Right.
Is it organic? Is there pesticides on it?
Right.
I mean, be smart, people. Be smart.
Yeah.
So the company that I am selling for, we have third-party certifications. And when I was Googling CBD oil and trying to learn about it, I looked up every kind of health provider and looked up how this process should be done.
Right. What
chemicals should be used to be to separate the HTC and the CBD oil. And I wanted to know.
As you should.
And
Yeah.
the company that I sell for, it's all within the guidelines that it should be.
Yeah.
It's organic. It's separated within minutes after it's been actually the product has been grown. So it's not hung to dry and developing mold spores.
Right.
There's no pesticides. There's just a lot, and that it has third-party certifications.
And
so
is it helping people yet then?
I'll tell you what, the coffee is really popular.
Yeah.
But
CBD coffee.
And I'm really kind of upset because I caught the flu last week, and so I'm just kind of like trying to just cleanse myself right now. So I'm not adding anything into my system right now. I'm just kind of
Getting rid of
purging
the flu.
it out,
Yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
I haven't even drank coffee.
Why am I drinking this coffee? I should be drinking that coffee.
I don't know. I gave you samples.
I'll
You'll
have to. Yeah, I haven't tried them yet. I'm gonna have to try them. How do you feel about the industry as a whole? How do you feel about complete legalization? Like, are you supportive?
I am very much in supportive of it. I'm actually, I feel that I would rather have any one person around me smoking a blunt than drinking alcohol.
But that's the crazy thing. Like, based on everything you just said before about A, pharmaceuticals, B, look at the alcohol industry and how many people that kills. Yeah. Like, there's an organization called Safer.
And how violent they become.
And their whole point is how much safer cannabis is. It's like, you're not going to overdose. You're not going to kill somebody. You're not going to, and it's, but alcohol, and it's crazy to me that people are still like, skeptical about it. Like, but you'll go to the doctor and you'll get these heavy sedatives or whatever, or you'll go to the bar and drink stuff that like makes people violent. You can literally
beat
like drink yourself
spouses,
to death. It's
kill
crazy
other people getting in a car. It is crazy. So, I'm not a pot smoker. But I've been around people and it's just totally different. I was married before, and my husband, when he would drink, was very violent and mean, and then I've been around people that smoke pot, and usually, you're just kind of like,
you can't.
I don't want to be around somebody that thinks they have to smoke weed 24/7, but
unless it helps them. You know what I mean?
For the alternatives of what's out there right now, they definitely need to make it available.
They need to make, and I think they need to make it legal so that scientists and physicians can work on it more and find out how to, even better utilize. Because I've seen so many cases like kids with seizures, and they stop their seizures with the
the studies for seizures is crazy.
THC, CBD oil, all that stuff, and it's like, man, like, why are we? People with cancer have benefited forever from it. So it's crazy to me that they haven't. And I really think
they had to find a way to control it and make money off of it.
100 million%, yes. Yeah. They had to find a way to make money off of it. They had to find a way to not compete with big tobacco and big alcohol and all them. I 100% think it's just lobbyists and opposition from the pharmaceutical companies. And once they own all the rights to it and everything, and
the United States is so uptight. I was just thinking about this the other day. So I'm not a big TV person, but I caught that one NFL owner or whatever went to a massage place down in Orlando. Did you
happen to catch that?
So
doesn't surprise me, but
he was getting
a special
massage,
a happy ending.
I think so. Right. And now they got all these charges against him, and all these they've been watching and political blah 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 blah. Yeah. I've been on cruises, which I'm getting ready to go on to here pretty soon. And the MSC Divina was one of the cruises I went on, based out of Italy. It's a cargo ship company that now builds these gorgeous cruise ships. I mean, they are gorgeous, right?
Okay.
On the boat, there was over 2,000 passengers, and only about 300 of us were Americans.
Right.
And the rest were like Brazilians, Italians.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. And they all do not wear bras.
Probably don't wear tops, do they?
Every chance they got, man, them boobies were hanging out everywhere. Yeah. They do not look at it as sex.
Right.
They take care of themselves. I mean, they take care of themselves. The United States could use a little bit of that, because I'm here to tell you, we got a lot of fat frump going on, and we got a lot of not taking personal hygiene care of ourselves. Yeah. We got a lot of drugs. We got a lot of people that their feelings get hurt too easily, and we should be.
You gotta wonder where a lot of that comes from. I don't know. Like, there's so many things. Like, when I went to school overseas for a while, and like even then, like even on TV, nudity on TV, no one gets all bent out of shape. That's not here. Like, a lot of those things you just said, it's really weird. Or like even going to Canada, like the complete lack, like 1.5 people got murdered in Canada last year. So, you know what I mean? Like, what's the difference? It's the same land. There's an invisible border, different country. No one can seem to put their finger on what it is.
This country needs to get their head out their butt. Like I said in the last thing, everybody's going kind of a little bit batshit crazy around here.
Yeah, it sure seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can't even. That's the thing I love about this podcast with you, because I think it's important. I mean, we're 10 years apart in age, right, and male, female, obviously.
Right.
But we've learned, I mean, in the beginning, it was so ironic that we were so passionate about our own thing that, if think back a couple of years ago, that we didn't listen to each other.
We didn't used to be friends.
We did not like each other.
No.
And it was because we weren't listening to each other.
Yeah.
We were stuck in our bubble of whatever was forming around us and developed opinions about each other.
You get so caught up in your own things too. And I think when there's, and especially I think it was a high pressure situation. We're both coming into this
it was
new
two
situation.
Things that had nothing to do with us that threw us both in a little mixing pot.
Yeah. And I think it was like when there's a lot of pressure and then, you know, you're both passionate, you're caught up in other things. Maybe. I mean, that's definitely part of it. People need to listen to each other, and there's so much blind.
It's okay to be passionate, but you also have to have respect for each other and find a way. You know, like when I have the meetings or whatever, I always say anybody in here is allowed to have a complaint, but have a solution.
Right. Don't just complain to complain.
Don't just complain. So if I have something that you don't agree with, that's great. You have a right to not agree with it, but don't sit there and put my crap down without coming up with some kind of solution. And I don't want to get political in a sense, but it's as easy as this. I believe that we should have border walls. And every other country has border walls. I believe that people are allowed to come live here. Mm-hmm. And I believe that they have a right to come live here, but I believe that they should do it the right way. Because I believe that there is bad coming in here, and trust me, Pumpkin, we got enough bad.
Right.
We breed our own bad. We don't need to bring in everybody else's bad. But whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, it comes down to I put something on Facebook the other day. If you disagree with me, all I want to know is, do you want those people coming to live? Will you let them live with you? That's what I want to know. And I understand that their lives are horrendous. And I've been to Honduras and I've seen all of that.
Yeah.
My question is if my life was bad here, are those countries going to let me go just live there? Just cross over to their border and live there?
Well, yeah. So what you're saying is you don't not want foreign alien people, whatever.
No,
but you just want them to do it the right way.
Come here, do it the right way.
Would you build a wall?
You should speak English. You should know our constitutional rights. You should. This is a land of English. We were created off of English.
That's true. I have a fun question though. Would you build a wall between Canada and the U.S.? You
already can't cross into Canada without going across the borders. Have you ever gone across the border?
Yeah, but you have to have yeah, I did a long time ago, but now you have to have don't you have to have like a
You have to have passport.
Passport now and stuff. Yeah. You didn't used to have to.
No.
Should we build a wall?
They don't just let you in and smile at you.
What do they do though? Well, no Canadians want to come. No Canadians want to come into America, I guess. So.
I was just there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not nice. They're not nice, and they scare the crap out of you.
Canadians?
Yeah, when I went across, I mean, they tell you. Yeah.
I feel like Canadians are nicer than us.
You think?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Canadians. I think so. I mean, they have less...
I've met some cool Canadians on cruises.
I've met some cool
There's
Canadians.
A lot of Canadians.
Plus, they don't have
cruises.
like we were just talking. They don't have the crime problems that we have. It's like it gets worse as you go south. Like Canada's pretty nice, and then like we're pretty bad, and then like Juarez, Mexico, or whatever, you'll probably die.
I think that there's good and bad in every country.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think
for sure. It's just weird. Like, let me look up how many. Let's see how many murders do you think happened in Canada last year?
Not a lot. I don't think a lot. I don't think they have a crime issue.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have a crime issue.
It's just the same. It's really conception too. Think about it. Aruba. Everybody thinks since that Natalie Holloway or whatever, everybody thinks Aruba is this crime-ridden place. They have hardly any crime also.
Looks like they had about 600 total.
Total in the whole entire country.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Isn't that crazy?
Like Chicago has 600 in a month.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one
probably
city.
Something like that. Yeah.
One city.
Yeah. And some of those.
Why are we so angry?
I don't know. And that's what kind of, we're kind of talking about. I don't know. I mean, part of it's a pharmaceutical problem, like you said. Part of it's maybe not listening to each other. It's all those things we touched on. I don't know. But ultimately, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Like, and people who try to blame other things, like, like it was always a trend to like blame music or blame violent movies or blame Grand Theft Auto or whatever. But like, they have all those things. So it's not that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's crazy.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. Some kind of discontent.
I know. I come to wonder if it is in the United States. It seems like everybody's just so worried about being somebody and having money, and we've lost family, we've lost God, we've lost
things that are more important than like being famous on the internet or something.
Yeah, like
so selfishness in a way, not listening to each other, not caring about each other.
I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
It's crazy. And then I don't think it's just the United States.
No, I mean there's problems in a lot of places
all over the world.
Sure, yeah.
And nobody probably wants to hear this, but I think a lot of this stems from the internet. The availability to anything on your cell phone.
Maybe.
I believe that people have now they idolize their phone over family, over relationships. I watched something on, ironically, Facebook, right? Yeah, I hardly ever get on social media.
At least you know it's ironic.
It was a picture, and it had like a man and a woman in bed, and they both had their backs to each other, and they were on their cell phones. And there's been times that Steve and I have been laying in bed, and I'm on my phone, he's on his phone.
Right.
And then I have that moment like, what in the hell are we doing?
There's this.
What are we doing?
It's that thing people have pointed out where we're more connected than ever, but we're less connected than ever type of thing.
We don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's weird too because there's good that goes along with it. Like I always
there
look.
Is good,
I
but
learn
it's
like
too accessible.
You've also got all of human knowledge at your. So it's again. I think it's how you use it, and that's true with so many things. Like.
What's that cartoon? I wanted to say it was like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs or whatever, but it's one of those cartoons, and in the end, they're all become obese, and they're like
Wall-E, and all the people are obese, and they sit in front of screens.
Yeah, and their chairs move around or whatever.
Yeah,
I feel we're there.
Oh, I think we can get more there than now.
Oh, I think we can get there, and I think at the rate that we're going, we'll probably be there. But I think we're there.
Have you used virtual reality yet?
I tried. You mean the goggle things?
Like I mean there's multiple levels. Like there's just the goggle things, but then like you can get the virtual reality, then you get the hand controls, and there's games and whole like things you can interact with. That's crazy. It's super awesome. It's something like since I was like a kid, like you knew it was coming. It was a sci-fi and whatever. And I've played some games on it and used it. It's crazy. And then I started thinking like once that gets super immersive, you think phones are bad? Wait till people can go in a different universe and just kind of stay there. It's crazy. It's super cool. And I'm not going to badmouth it. Again, I think it's how people use it. Like if you play some games and have some
robots now.
Sure. Yeah. A
robot doll starts out at like $8,000.
Oh yeah.
They talk and everything.
Yeah, there's robot sex broth. Is that might be redundant, but there's robot brothels. We can go like. I mean, it was inevitable.
Well, you do go pick up hey baby, like.
They're pro. You don't have to pick them up. I think you just pay, swipe your card or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. Is it good or bad?
It's like having sex with an animal. I mean, that's been
no,
going on
it's a robot.
I know it's a robot. It doesn't even have feelings.
Right.
I guess if it's the difference between doing something horrible to somebody that doesn't want to have sex with you that you shouldn't be having sex with, or you having sex with a robot, go get yourself a robot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or you're like, all the problems that can happen with actual brothels. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to even, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I don't know. Like, where are we going to go from this, man?
I have no idea.
Like,
let's
I would not have sex with a robot.
You didn't even let me pose the question. Okay, fine. What about a really good-looking robot, like a Brad Pitt robot? He's not going to give you any problems. You're not married to Steve. You're just, he's not going to cause a mess. You just plug him in when you're not home.
Technically, Bobs are robots, right?
What are
Bobs?
What are they? Are you talking about?
They're kind of like a robot, right?
Yeah,
I mean, what actually symbolizes a robot?
It's just the part of.
I don't want to have sex with something that looks like a human that talks that really isn't one.
Okay.
I don't really think that.
I don't want to. I'm just
me.
Playing devil's advocate. Like, I don't know. Maybe it'd be good for.
If there was no more humans on the earth and that's all I had to choose from, then Maybe. So so here's a question I always what is the one thing if you could one thing and for you girls out there what thing girl makeup would you not want to be without? And if it a guy thing, what would be the one thing that if you were stuck on an island and you could only take one thing that had nothing to do with survival?
Right. One.
I mean, obviously, you would want fire or a knife, but it has nothing
and
to do.
It can't be a computer or a phone or something because you can't charge it.
Just completely. What is the one thing?
That's a good question.
Would you want to take with you? Is it a TV? Is it a radio? Is it?
But you wouldn't have. Would you have electricity though?
I don't know.
If I had electricity, I don't know. Maybe a computer. But if it was just an island and like you didn't have electricity, maybe
no internet. No internet.
Maybe like a pen and paper.
Pen and paper.
Yeah, so I feel like at least you could draw and you could write stories and you could journal your death.
You could be like what was the soccer ball?
Oh yeah,
was it a soccer ball or volleyball?
It was a volleyball. That Tom Hanks movie, Castaway.
It was his blood on it.
Yeah, he put his bloody hand on it. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Oh, what was this? That was just on recently.
Right now, people are like, it's. They're yelling it at the screen. What the heck was that thing's name? We're gonna be like, oh yeah, Wilson.
Wilson.
Oh, because it was a Wilson.
Duh, Wilson. Yeah.
What would you take?
Well, if I had one makeup thing, if I had to pick one makeup thing, it would be mascara. I can't stand it when it looks. Well, it's one thing. Like in
case you were discovered, and they're like,
in case I'm discovered, like I don't like it without eyelashes.
Wow.
No, if it was, excuse me.
Yeah.
One thing that it would probably be kind of on the same concept as you, like a book, something tangible, paper, pen, that type of thing. I think so too.
Would have to be.
Yeah. Outside of the survival.
Yeah. What would you guys take? Let us know. Leave some comments. What would you take to the island? What do you think about medical marijuana? What do you think about sex robots? We touched some interesting subjects today.
Craziness.
Yeah, we're gonna get going. It's we're over half an hour, so thanks for watching Into the Light with Ryan and Michelle.
Yeah, thanks for just flowing with us a little bit today. We really didn't know where we were going with this today.
It's just we're just hanging out today, and thank you to Conspiracy Coffee for the sponsorship. Like, subscribe, the whole deal, and we'll see you real soon.
See ya.
Bye.